Tell me what you're drinking, we can go pour one. Tell me what you're thinking, we can have some more fun.
Welcome back to a new episode of Stealing Home, the most unserious show in baseball, brought to you by the best brother and sister duo in baseball. I'm Lisa, and this is my amazing brother Anthony, who did a great job holding down the fort by himself last week, even though there were quite a few awkward sips of water. I thought you did a really good job.
Was there any question? Did you watch the entire thing or no?
I watched most of it. I miss fair or foul.
Damn, that's your favorite part.
I know, but
allegedly, I don't know. I don't know if it is now.
I couldn't do it because I knew I would just be yelling at the screen, but also because I had a flight to catch. So I'm back. Baseball's still happening. I left, and it's still going on.
Yeah. That's how it goes. I was talking with my barber, who's not a baseball fan. He's like a soccer fan, and he's just not from America. So he's like, was surprised to know that baseball is 7 months long and 162 games.
Yeah, it is. It is shocking, especially as I know both of us are excited for the start of college football season specifically, and definitely not 162 games there. So it's even more impressive as the world keeps moving that we are still somehow getting baseball. So do we have anything to start off with, or should we just get into it?
We can get into it, but let me fix myself real quick. Because when I did it by myself, some things were all boo-booed up, and we're good. All right, we can get into it.
Well, I was going to say, while Anthony does that, I caught something while I was abroad. So if I sound stuffy or if I cough at any point, apologies for anyone listening. But thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe, comment on anything we say, all that stuff. And let's get into it. So in the midweek results, I mean, you're going to have to let me know if there's any big storylines here, because I can see the results, but I really was not paying very close attention. Braves sweeping the Twins. We've got the Cubs actually sweeping the Pirates, which I think is pretty surprising at this point of the year. And the Rangers sweeping the White Sox, which is somewhat surprising, only because I felt like every time I bet on the White Sox, they would actually end up winning, which is frustrating. And it looks to me like everyone else is just kind of moving in the direction they need to be moving in. And what am I missing here?
A good series between the Royals and the Guardians. At that point in time, the Royals were like a game and a half out of first place. They took 3 out of 4 against the Guardians, which was really good for the Royals. I think they were either tied for first or actually had first place. I think they were tied at the very end of that series with first place with the Guardians. So it looked like the Royals were going to take over. The Mets and the Diamondbacks. So the Mets are trying to get that wild card spot. The Diamondbacks were going to try to catch up to the Dodgers. So the Diamondbacks in the weekend series, they had the Dodgers for 4 games. They're actually playing the 4th game today on Monday. But that was a big series for both of these teams. The Mets took that one, so they're closer in the wild card. And then going into the weekend, like I said, to focus on the Royals and Guardians going into the weekend, Royals whooped the Guardians' ass, and they were probably tied or at first place or a game out, something like that, first place with the Guardians. Going into the weekend, though, they got beat by the Astros. So it's like the Royals did a good job against the Guardians and then ran into one of the hottest teams in baseball, the Houston Astros. They actually got swept by the Astros, so there should be a broomstick right there. They got swept by the Astros. So that sucks for them. So now they're right back where they started, which sinks because you played the Guardians well, and then you get swept, and now you're right back where you started.
I think I vaguely remember while I was gone, you sent me something about the Royals and the Guardians, and someone saying that they didn't think the Guardians could stay on top of them. And I don't think I responded to you, but my thought when I read it was, the Guardians, I don't know if this is still true, but I know it was true at one point in the season, not too long ago. The Guardians have been the most successful for betting right now. So if you've bet on the Guardians this season, you have probably done very well because regardless of how it looks, they've been making gamblers the most money. I don't know why I know that fact. I just saw that.
For someone who hates betting, allegedly,
I know.
You love to bring up betting. This is the second time in 5 minutes Less than 5
5 minutes.
minutes. You brought it
Yeah.
up.
So I thought that, and I was like, well, if they're the preferred pick, then I think you shouldn't be too quick to write the Guardians off. And I'm glad that I didn't, because clearly they're right back where we started, as if I never left.
They're not gonna be there when the season's over. I'll say
I
that.
think they will. I think they will.
That's it. Oh, is
All
it
right.
my?
Anything else?
I thought you
Anything
were
else
gonna
from the
keep
weekend?
going.
No, no.
Well,
You gotta help me
the
out here.
Dodgers and Diamondbacks. So the Diamondbacks and Dodgers have been playing each other, and that was big because the Diamondbacks had a chance to catch up some ground against the Dodgers. I think they were like 3.5 back when the series started, something around there. They won a game. They've lost 2. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman hit back-to-back home runs to start a game off in the first inning. So 3 batters in, you're down 3-0. That's what the Dodgers have. It's like a cheat code. It's like if I was playing online and MLB The Show and someone hit 3 home runs with that lineup, I'd quit. I'd rage quit. So that's what the Diamondbacks are going through. I had hope that something was going to happen, make that race interesting, but I think after seeing this series and depending on what happens today, because they have their 4th game today, I think the Dodgers might have wrapped it up. Because let's look at the standings, and I'll skip the American League since we're talking about Dodgers and Nationals, or Dodgers and Diamondbacks. I mean, they're 5 back now. The Diamondbacks and the Padres are 5 back of the Dodgers. So I don't see. I mean, look, 5 games isn't that much in September, but it's enough, especially when you're talking about a team like the Dodgers. I think they've got it wrapped up now. But, I mean, since we're in the National League, the Cubs now leapfrogged the Cardinals, but that's more so just for pride because they're rivals. Like, none of them are getting into the playoffs. What I think is interesting with the standings, the Braves and the Mets, 1 game apart. The Mets, if you look at the wild card, the Mets are right behind the Braves. So we might have an instance where the Mets, the Grimace Mets, the Oh My God Mets, the Hawk Tua Mets, those Mets, they might make the playoffs over the Braves. And that would be kind of fun to see.
I would be for it. I would also be very scared. If the Mets make it into the playoffs, can they win the World Series using the weird, like, witchcraft that they've put together over this last year?
I think if you're the Mets, you're just saying don't even worry about the World Series right now because how do you win the World Series? Step 1, you got to make it to the dance.
I'm just saying, like, should we be concerned? I feel like we've kind of slept on them. We've talked about all the brouhahas that they've had this season. Like you said, oh
Great
my
word.
God, guy, the Grimace worshiping. We have now the Hawk Tua girl
Pete
is somehow
Alonso
involved in
dancing at
this.
country concerts. Maybe that was
Pete
a
Alonso,
ritual of
yeah.
some sort.
I
He opened
mean,
up a time warp, a demon portal.
right. Like, we have been on the front lines of trying to figure out what blasphemy is going on with the Mets. Should we be now concerned that they might disrupt baseball as we know it and the fabric of society?
Maybe. We've got some stranger things going on with the Mets. And, like, honestly, maybe we shouldn't root for them to make October. Because if they make October,
I'm scared.
we don't know what's next. We don't know what they're going to pull out of that demon portal that they have in Citi Field. So that's the National League. I mean, and the
But
Cubs
if you have
aren't.
to pick between the Braves and the Mets, because, like, I think you're probably about to say the Cubs and the Cardinals.
They're right behind.
Are
Well, the
not
Cubs at
looking
least are
good.
right behind. No, I'm saying they're right behind. Like, they're 3 games back of the wild card with only 1 team to
Yeah,
hop.
I know, but just the way the Cubs, I feel like
They're
if I had to
9-1.
guess,
The Cubs are 9-1 and have won 6 games in a row. So they're hot right now, and they
they're
could
hot right
ride
now.
that. They
Okay.
could ride that.
Okay. But if you had to guess, if you had to choose between the Braves and the Mets, like, if it was definitively up to one of those two, who would you want in the playoffs?
For like entertainment purposes,
The Mets, right?
yeah, probably. But the Braves also, they have that storyline between Harper and Arcia, which we'll talk about too. Because in that weekend series, I'll go back to the weekend series too. The Phillies played the Braves, and that was on prime time, and that was a big series. It's not necessarily because of the standings, but because of remember a couple series ago, I mentioned it in my show. I don't know if you tuned in.
Oh, I heard you talking about this.
Arcia staring down Harper, and I was like, that's kind of a clown move,
Yeah.
but maybe not. Depends. Well, the Phillies won 3 out of 4 against the Braves. They kind of whooped them. I predicted that Harper was going to win the 2 primetime games with the Phillies, and they did. Arcia, though, in I believe the game that the Braves won, which was game 2 of that series, he did have 2 home runs in one game. and they won 7-6. So he won the Braves a game. But I mean, you still lost the series 3-1, and now you're 7 games out. So is it that cool? I don't know. But we'll talk about that in a
No,
little
if
bit.
I had to pick a storyline, if we're talking about what makes baseball interesting, then it's got to be the Mets.
Yeah,
And I would want them as much as I'm scared of them going further.
that's a fair point. Now let's look at the American League here. And you got the Yankees and Orioles, half game separating them. I'm pissed off at the Royals. You have a great series against the Guardians, but I think they just ran into a powerhouse Houston Astros team that is hot right now. So I can't hold that against them. But you got to manage to scrap away one game out of that series. They got swept by the Astros. But
I'm more disappointed, honestly, in the Mariners. And I mean, that's not going to be any surprise for me. I've been rooting for the downfall of the Astros all season. I tried to, say they were dead, and perhaps I was a little bit premature in that
a
prognostication.
little bit.
But I'm
I think
very
you said that in
disappointed.
April. I think you were saying that since April. We're going to have to backtrack that, but
I think that's probably right.
manifesting.
But I'm disappointed in the Mariners. What is going on? You had it basically in the bag all season. It was yours to lose, and you decided, I guess, that we
They
you
lost
are
it.
going to lose it. And
Yeah.
I don't know, that's just very disappointing to me as someone who is really rooting for the Mariners this season.
You know what it is with the Mariners? Because I'm looking at their splits right now. The Mariners are terrible on the road. They are 28-40 on the road, and they're 41-28 at home. So they're like the Rockies, but like
Yeah,
better at
kind
home.
of.
But that's the
But yeah.
standings for the division. If we look at the wild card, I don't see a lot happening. I mean, you see the Tigers up there now. They've actually leapfrogged the Mariners when it comes to a better record, and they're playing better. But I don't see them catching up. I don't see the Red Sox catching up either. I think it's going to be those 6 teams. It's just a matter of where they fall, where the chips fall.
Yeah.
Particularly
I mean,
in the East with the Orioles and Yankees, will the Orioles catch up to the Yankees? And also in the Central, how are those 3 teams going to stack up? I don't think the Guardians are going to be in first. I think the Royals are going to catch up to them. That's my opinion. That's
Okay.
my opinion.
that's fine.
Yeah.
You're allowed to it. It's like assholes. Everyone has one.
Did you get that?
Um,
Did you get the reference though?
No.
Well, yesterday at family dinner, you were referencing old Vine, so I thought you were gonna get that one. That's my opinion. Wow.
My opinion is that what I think the top 3 are probably, this is going to give me heartburn to say this, but they're probably going to be who they are right now. I know a lot can change, and I don't know that I should trust the Yankees and the Guardians to stay where they are, but I'm going to choose to trust
I'm gonna say
today.
lock it in just because you said that. So now I'm gonna say it's lock it in. It'll be Orioles 1 seed, Royals 3 seed, but Astros 2 seed. The Royals are gonna win the Central. Lock it down. Lock it down.
I think it will be probably the Yankees, Astros, Guardians. Astros number 2, I think, is fair. And then for the wild card, I think, it will be probably these 3 as well, and it's just going to be a matter of where they stack up. But I
Well-
could absolutely be wrong. Look, I'm on vacation brain right now, so
You're on Florida State
relaxed.
brain right now because they play in
honestly, in like
5
a few
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I am not in baseball, and I'm not on top of my game right now.
that's I guess what was last week, and that's where the standings are at. But a big series that I mentioned before is that Phillies Braves series. Not necessarily for the standings. I think the best standing series were the Dodgers Diamondbacks, which we spoke a little bit about, and the Royals Guardians, which we spoke about as well. But that Braves Phillies series had me watching it, and the Phillies beat down the Braves. The Braves had a nice play. Their center fielder made a nice catch. I don't know if you saw the highlights on Twitter, if that made your feed, or if you're on baseball Twitter there. Michael Harris, whatever, jumped up, caught a home run, robbed a home run. Nick Castellanos, we found out tragically that, and this isn't funny, but it's I guess a coincidence, but someone NHL player passed away.
Okay.
It was Johnny Goodrow and Matthew Goodrow, very good hockey players, and it's just like
Okay.
a thing. Whenever something bad happens in the world, Nick Castellanos hits a home run. Have you seen those?
Oh,
Have you seen that occurrence?
I did not know that.
That happens every time something bad happens in the world and it's big news. Castellanos goes yard.
Well, we've been having two wars concurrently, so has that not affected Castellanos?
Yeah, but you're thinking too much about it. It's like
He just
something.
gets like the first.
I'm sure. Yeah, whenever the first bombing happened in Kyiv, yeah, Castellanos probably hit for the cycle that day or something. But
Got it. Okay.
that happened, unfortunately. And shout R.I.P. Matthew Goodrow and Johnny Goodrow because that sucks. That's a sad story.
How'd they pass? Was it like a car accident?
Drunk
or
driver
something?
hit them while they were biking, and they were riding bikes at like 7:30 at night, and they were about to be go to their sister's wedding the next day, and
Jesus.
someone hit them. I know, terrible story. So don't drink and drive. It's stupid.
Don't drink and drive,
Kill
people. It's not
people.
worth it.
Also, but that series, the Phillies beat the Braves. They take 3 games out of 4. But just talking about what led up to this series, because you got Harper in October last year, responding to Arcia, kind of making fun of him about getting doubled up, hitting 2 home runs, and staring down Arcia. You got Arcia now staring down Harper last week with his home run. And then you come into this series. Arcia had a good game. He hit 2 home runs in 1 game. I didn't see if you stared down Harper again, but that would have been funny. But it's like, is the beef over now between Harper and Arcia? Arcia went 3 for 14, a 2-homer game, and the only Braves win. And Harper went 6 for 14 in the series. I think Harper's won this beef. Even though Arcia had a good game, I think Harper's won the beef because his team's winning.
No, he has. Look, you know how you win the beef? As a casual viewer, you win the beef when I remember who you are now, right?
Well,
And
you know Arcia. You remember Arcia now.
well, all I'm saying is this. Again, casual viewer, someone who, when I go on vacation, I completely forget that this is happening, and then I come back and I'm like, man, we're still doing this? That person, me, like, I know Bryce Harper. Like, I'm aware of that. And for Arcia to have won the beef, I'd have to be like, how I feel now about Mr. Relevant, where I'm like, that's my dude. Like,
Fair.
that's how you win the beef, is now I'm like, that's my guy. I still know who Bryce Harper is, and I don't really think about Arcia ever. So Bryce Harper has won the beef.
Do you know Mr. Irrelevant's name, or do you just know
Will
him?
Smith.
No, that's that's the catcher.
That's Smith. Wait, no, Provar.
Wow, time out. You know the guy who lost the beef in that.
Sorry.
You know the guy who lost the beef.
Provar, right? That's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the, yes.
Yes.
Okay, my bad.
She just
I
had
knew
a
you were gonna
whole
ask me, and then my brain freaked out, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's gonna ask me, and I'm gonna say the wrong guy," and then I did end up doing that. Did you ever?
Is
you
this a
ever
good
mess
word? Let me
yourself
know if
up
this is a
that
good
way?
word. Oh, you had a whole soliloquy.
I know.
Good
But
word.
does that not? Yes, but does more like a monologue? But does that not like actually happen to you? Where you're like, "Fuck, I don't want to mess this up. This one
Yeah.
fact I have to get right."
I
and then you,
can't
like,
say X. Then they ask
exactly.
you like
and then you
X.
say
It's
the
like
one you- Ah.
yeah. No, that's me
yeah,
with girls at the
anyway,
bar.
my point-
It's like don't say this. Don't say this. Don't say this. I say it. Oh God. Why did I say?
My point still stands. So no, RC has not won the beef. Is it over? Yeah, just because like it's irrelevant to me.
I don't know if it's over, but it's like I think it's ran its course. The only way it's not over, it's
Yeah.
like everyone thought World War I was over. That was World War I, and we all think it's over. It's the war to end all wars. But maybe
Well,
if
we
they
think
face
World War II is over, but is it?
well, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like we think it's ran its course. So unless they catch each other in October again, and something else happens, then it's not over. But I think
Which
it's
they
done.
probably won't. Which they probably won't because the Mets will harness whatever dark energies around them to
I hope so.
usurp the Braves into the.
Hey, the
into
Mets
wild
and
card.
Phillies don't like each other either. So either way, I'd be happy for a matchup there.
Yeah, me too.
Bryce Harper, we were talking about, one of the best players in the game. I think he's one of the most popular players in the game because he's got that swag to him. He's got that pizzazz. That guy's he's got the it factor, and that's why the Phillies went out and paid him a lot of money. Big at bat, big point in the game. He always gets the hit. He's got the rugged beard. He loves Philly.
Yeah.
He's just got that sauce. He's got the juice. But there's other dogs in the American League and the National League who have the juice, not the deuce, that have dookie stands. No, Harper, Judge, and Ohtani. I think those are the 3 biggest players in baseball right now when it comes to like popularity and talent, right? I mean, Harper doesn't have the same numbers as the other 2, so to say, But in October, he's done 100 times more than Judge and Ohtani. Because one, Ohtani hasn't been in October because he's been on the dog crap
The
Angels.
Yeah.
And Judge has not. I mean, he's had good Octobers, but he hasn't had what Harper has had. So I had just something pop into my head. Game 7, game on the line, bases loaded, 2 outs. You're up 1 run, Lisa. You're the manager. Who would you rather face with the game on the line? Or let me ask this. Who would you least want to face? So who would you be the most scared of with the game on the line in Game 7 of the World Series? You see Bryce Harper, Ohtani, and Judge on deck. Which one of those 3 are you most scared of?
I mean, just based on numbers for this season, so not thinking of anything else, like solely on that, I'd like you'd have to say Judge only because like he is in the lead in those ways. But I also like he doesn't strike fear into me as much as like a Harper. I don't know why Ohtani doesn't necessarily like factor in. I think it's just because I can't be scared of Ohtani. I am too big a fangirl of him to ever not want to face him in any way.
Let me put it to you this
So,
way. It's the Yankees, your team. The Yankees. Game on the line in the World Series. Would you rather see Bryce Harper and the Phillies come up to bat? Would you rather see Ohtani come up to bat?
I think I'd rather see Ohtani come
So
up to
you'd
bat.
be you'd rather face Ohtani.
Yeah.
Like you're more scared of Harper than Ohtani.
I think scared is the wrong word. I think like probably I feel like you said Harper has more experience in postseason play. Um
But
and
that's what I
not to
mean
say
by
that
scared though. It's like, you know, when you're on the mound, you're a pitcher. I'm sweating a little harder. My heart rate's a little higher. I gotta
Yeah.
be a little bit better because I am scared to face that guy. It's like Barry Bonds coming to the plate. Like,
I guess
you're scared
look,
of Barry Bonds.
Harper's got more experience for sure, and Ohtani hasn't done that. We don't know how Ohtani is going to be in postseason. I have no reason to believe he will not be as amazing as he is all the time, but we just haven't seen it yet.
So are you going with Harper's as the scariest of the 3 in October?
Yeah, sure. Harper is terrifying.
Okay. Well, you know what? You love Halloween in October, so I feel like you would love the
I
spooky
do.
vibes. Like,
I
ooh, Bryce
do.
Harper. I agree with you, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Judge, for some reason, I think he hasn't been as clutch as Bryce Harper in October. I mean, Judge has had some bad series in October. I don't know if that's a fact. That's just a feeling, like a hunch that I have, but I feel like if I looked up the stats of his playoff series, I feel like he hasn't had great moments. He had I can't think of a signature great moment that kind of levels up to what Bryce Harper has had with the Phillies. And that might be some recency bias and
I think it is. I think it's recency bias, and also like the Phillies have just done better than both the Angels and the Yankees.
yeah. But also, that's
So
not a bad thing to have recency bias because when it comes to baseball and a sport, you are who you are right now. You're not who you are
sure.
10 years ago. And like 5 years ago is more recent than 10. So, but I would be way more scared of Harper. He just because of exactly what you said. Ohtani is probably if I had to rank them, and I'll ask you what your ranking is. But if I had to rank them in scariest batters to face in October with the game on the line, Harper's the scariest. It seems like you can go and have a whole, probably a Netflix documentary on the amount of clutch hits he's had, regular season and October. He lives for that moment. He's a clutch god. So Harper's number 1. Ohtani's number 2. He hasn't been in October, but in the regular season, he's had tons of clutch moments. And in the World Baseball Classic, he's had some clutch moments too, which is like the closest he's been to October was the World Baseball Classic with that kind of playoff atmosphere. And then I think Judge is 3. But it's like no right answer with these 3 guys. These are arguably some of the 3 best.
Yeah. I would probably go Harper, Judge, and then Ohtani. I think with Judge, he's having a hot year right now. So to say that, we know what his playoff performance is going to be this year, I think it's a little premature to say that. It could be that he has a really hot October this year. And as much as, like I said, I love Ohtani, I just don't, I don't know. I just don't have it with him right now. I'd like to see what he does. And, I mean, as for all we know, the Dodgers don't make the playoffs this year anyway, so.
All right. Yeah. They're definitely making the playoffs. You're crazy. But I guess these 3 dudes, if you were to, like, if I was and playoffs is one thing. That's why I pick Harper. But if you're just talking about in terms of who's the better baseball player, I don't think Harper is quite on Judge and Ohtani's level in terms of the numbers that Judge and Ohtani put out. But when it comes to
So
October,
do you give Ohtani a +1 because he pitches too?
no, not this year because he's not pitching this year.
Okay, so we're just talking
If it
about
was
this
another
year.
year-
I'm talking about overall baseball.
Yeah. Well, not like this year. I'm saying this year because he doesn't pitch. He hasn't pitched this year. He's got Tommy
I
John.
know.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about overall baseball.
What do you mean by overall baseball?
Like their whole career
Oh.
put together.
No,
That's
I'm
what
thinking
talking-
more. I'm thinking more of like right now. Right now,
Okay.
one of those dudes are coming up to hit against your team. Which one are you going to be the most nervous about? I'd be most nervous about Harper, and then Ohtani, then Judge. That's my ranking.
Got it.
Did you rank them too? Is that
I did.
similar?
Yes.
Oh.
I just did 5 seconds ago.
Nah, I don't remember. You're like, yeah, sounds right.
Yes.
Sounds,
Yes.
you're like, yeah, sounds
I
about
got it.
correct.
Who are we most scared about? Got it.
Who are we
Terrified.
spooked off? Who are we spooked off?
Yeah.
All right, it's time for our favorite segment of the show.
It's time for fair or foul.
The first one, we have a secret person by the name of Tristan Cassis out in the outfield in Fenway Park doing his pregame stretches, I guess. I'll say
So this is a player?
this is a player.
This is a player?
It looks like someone ran on the field and
I thought this was like a streaker situation.
nope, that's a player. That's Tristan Cassis of the Boston Red Sox.
He would be a Red Sox.
I don't get the I'm gonna say foul, by the way, but I don't get the mask.
I don't.
Looks like
The
he's trying to
mask-
rob a donut factory because and this is keep in mind some of these angles you're seeing. This is a professional athlete, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, right. But he is a baseball player, so then it suddenly made sense.
Athlete. He's got
I
the Shane
think-
Gillis build.
Yeah. Like all of this, I don't know where to start, to be honest with you. The whole thing pisses me off. I think the mask is bad in of itself, but then to also see that it has Supreme on it just actually like boils my blood in a way that I didn't anticipate.
And I think
today.
he's rocking some Pit Vipers too. So he's got the ultimate douche bro set up right now.
And then just to like, I don't know, man. I don't get this off my screen.
All right, next one we
Yeah,
talked about
serious.
Harper. We talked about the Phillies and the Braves. A little bit of fisticuffs going on. There's a fight between the Braves and the Phillies. Check this fight out. Fair or foul?
Ooh. Okay. So it's foul. Here's why though.
Little playground
Okay.
bullying.
As a girl, I don't know what it is. I can't explain it to you. I know it doesn't make sense. But as a girl, there's like an age where like when boys start wearing hats, like your way of trying to flirt with them is by like messing with the hat.
I'd
And
hate
all
you
it does-
if you did that to me.
And all it does is annoy the boys. And I don't think girls realize that until far too late. And I mean, I wouldn't say I was far too late because I had brothers and I was like, oh, I should stop doing that. But I've seen people even do it now at this age. And I'm like, girl, don't touch a man's hat. So that's why this is super foul.
I have a-
because I wouldn't. I just know how much it pisses off guys when you touch their hats.
I think this is foul on Harper, brother. Like come on, it's a school. Like you look
Bad
like a
luck.
schoolyard bully right here. But no, I have a funny story. So Pop always kind of raised me like, don't let people touch your hat, don't let people touch your glove. And one of my friends, remember Mikey? I don't want to say his last name, but you know Mike, Big Mike and his son Mike,
Yeah.
little Mike.
Mhm.
Mike, when we first started playing for the Tarpons, like our travel team, we were like 11. Like first practice, first game we had or something. He like grabs my hat, and then I punch him.
Oh.
He grabs my hat, and that pissed me off. So then I punched him, and then he punched me back, and they were just kind of just sitting at each other. Like it was like awkward. We were just staring at each other, like just continuing to like take turns punching each other. It wasn't like a fight. It was just kind of like a very gentlemanly, like, I will punch you, sir, and then you will punch me, and whoever gives up first, yeah. And then our moms came over and was like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? I was like, he took my hat, and like, he punched me. So, and then we were
Yeah,
friends
you
after
can't do
that.
this.
And then we were friends.
Awful luck.
And then
Awful luck for Harper.
the most bro thing was we were friends after that. So maybe I'm upset they didn't just take turns in that gentleman punching contest that I did when I was 11. But also, I
This
would
is why,
foul on the hat thing, but fair on Harper's beautiful hair. That is a gorgeous look
hair
he's
is
got.
nice.
Yeah,
And this is, bring us back to a time when men went to war and they had little white gloves that they would slap each other
that's
with. I'd
essentially
rather
what
see that.
me and little Mike did. We
That's
were
what
just,
I want to see.
I shall punch you, and then you shall return, and whoever bows out first shall get the hat. All right, the next one. We got a little bit of a fever dream.
Yeah,
Barstool
what?
Big Cat from Barstool posted this and said this is a fever dream. And I don't know what it is. I enjoy it though, so I'm gonna say fair. I think this is cool. We should have some go-kart races around baseball fields in between innings.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. We've talked about how they need to, get baseball more, get the fans more involved in like cheering and doing stuff. That's fair. That's fine. I mean, it's weird. It is weird, but it's
I do
allowed.
stuff like that in NBA and NHL and stuff. I've
Yeah.
seen go-karts race in NHL. I think this is funny. This is definitely like you see a lot of weird, quirky stuff in independent league games, like minor league games. I think this is the vibe right here of like a minor league game for sure.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
All right, that's all we got for fair or foul. Let's go ahead and look at the future matchups. What we got going on next week?
So midweek we've got another round 2 of the Guardians versus the Royals.
Woo! At Kauffman Stadium, baby. Kansas City's gonna be rocking. I'm ready for that. Kansas City, wake up, wake up. Lost 5 straight. Wake up. It's time to win. Go ahead.
The Yankees will be taking on the Rangers while the White Sox take on the Orioles. So who knows? Maybe the Orioles can come back and solidify their number 1
No,
spot
I
like
think
Ant thinks they will.
I think the White Sox are due for a sweep. Revert like the other way. They usually get swept. But
Okay, maybe. The Mariners will be taking on the A's while Houston is in Cincinnati. So likely not anything's gonna change there either. And yeah, I think everything else is moving pretty much. I mean, Dodgers are gonna be with the Angels, so there's not much challenge for them there.
Ohtani
Uh,
returning to Anaheim.
oh, that's right. Yeah, and Trout's out. Trout's still out this season, right?
Yeah, he's done for.
All right.
Yeah, that's exactly the reaction to every other baseball. All right.
All right.
All right.
Anyway,
Oh, shucks.
so looking into the weekend, yeah, what do we see on the weekend? Do you want to take this one, Ant?
Yeah, I suppose Twins and Royals, another good series, depending on how that Royals-Guardian series go, because those two teams are tied for second place in the Central. You got the Yankees. They're going to be playing the Chicago Cubs, who are a hot team in baseball right now. They've 9-1. I think they've won, what did I say earlier? 6 straight, something like that?
6 straight, yeah.
Yeah, the Cubs have won 6 straight. So the Yankees are going to be running into a hot Cubs team, depending on how their midweek series goes. The Orioles could have a chance to make up some ground. They're playing the most average team in baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays, who I've seen. They got to reach 500. Reach 500 one time, and then not be 500, and then go back to 500 another time. Like, they got to do that 2 or 3 more times to be one of the first the first teams in Major League history to like reach 500 33 times, like 35 times in a season, which means that they have literally just been even,
average,
win, even, lose, even, win. Like, they have just, they are the most average team in baseball. So the Orioles have a chance to make some ground and maybe take the lead from the Yankees, depending on how both of those teams play. Outside of that,
the Guardians are not getting any break after they spend some time in Kansas City.
Yeah.
They'll be in LA hanging out with the Dodgers. So yeah, and if there's gonna be a chance for the Guardians to fall to the Royals, it's gonna be, I think, this week.
Big brain, Lisa. Big brain. The Royals are coming. They're gonna beat the
You
Guardians.
put this stuff together, so you're gonna see.
They ran into a saw blade that was rotating at 39 million miles an hour in the Houston Astros, and they got swept. But they're not playing them. They're gonna play the Guardians again, and the Guardians have used their bullpen too much, and it's not sustainable, and they're gonna lose. But we'll see how they do against the Twins. That's gonna be a good series for them, because I think the Twins are a good team as well. Can't sleep on them out there in the Central. I know I give them a lot of love. Let's look at the primetime picks. So I made my picks, so I've got 2 more games than you. I'm now above 500. I picked the Phillies to win 2 games. Do you want to retroactively pick who you or no? That's cheating.
I pick whoever won.
Yeah, okay, no, we're not doing that. That's the standings. I'm 24 and 23. Lisa's 21 and 24. We got to get you above 500. Not ahead of me, though, because I want to win. But we got to get you above 500. That way the show has more legitimacy.
Okay.
And that we know what we're talking about, even though we don't. So,
right.
I guess you did the intro. I guess I'll make my picks first. We're going White Sox at the Boston Red Sox. We got the old Sox Bowl. Oh, red or white?
We hate to see the sock on sock crime.
Sock on sock crime. It's going to be at Fenway Saturday on Fox. I don't know about you, but I'm wearing White Sox. So I'll go with the Chicago White Sox winning on Saturday. That's my pick.
I was going to pick the White Sox, actually, but since you did, I'll go ahead and pick the Red Sox.
Did you peep the flexibility on that, by the way?
I think you could use a little bit more mobility training, but does that mean
you see that hamstring on the camera right now?
Do I get to pick?
You can't do that.
You
can't do this.
I'm not gonna do it because this is gonna turn into a really different stream if I do. So we're gonna keep talking about baseball.
Might get booted off YouTube.
Yeah, no thanks.
The next series, Diamondbacks and Astros. Astros are hot. It's gonna be in Houston at Minute Maid Park. I think the Diamondbacks are gonna go back to not being back. I'll go Astros.
Ooh, I'm gonna pick the Diamondbacks. I have to.
Cool. Wait, did you pick the Red Sox for your? Because I picked the White Sox last time.
Yeah.
Why are you fading me?
I'm in the mood.
Wow, confrontational. All right, well that's all I got.
I think that's it.
Unless you got something, we're gonna go watch some FSU football. Anything you want to say about your Europe trip? Anything you want to say about your Europe trip? Or
we've got like less than a minute, so I'll just say the Euro trip. Look, guys, Ant was right when he said plan your trips with the game being at the end. So that way you can come home and not have to pretend to be happy. They have to ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine, and you're not fine. And things are not okay.
That's the Vine reference she hit last time, and she didn't get that. That's my opinion. I'm sending you that after the show ends. That's my opinion.
Let's hope Florida State gets a win today, or else you guys might not see me. You're going to have to put me on a watch.
Do you think I look like a Muppet?
But that is all for us this week. If you watched this far, thank you so much for being here with us. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, like this video, share it with your friends, tell your parents, show them what like real family dysfunction can look like. Yeah, do all the things you're supposed to do.
And I'll be looking for you whenever you arrive. Tell me what you're drinking, we can go pour one. Tell me what you're thinking, we can have some more fun. I know that you said you don't think of me, but what you're doing now